satellite. Body love in every size. Feel the vibe and energize. No shame, no fear, just joy. Every curve we deploy. Hit play, let's make some noise. Oh, Chubs go wild. Living free, living style. Turn it up, turn it loud. Chubs gone wild. Big hearts, big love, big dreams. Breaking molds, tearing seams. Together we're the ultimate team. Oh, Chubs go wild. Feel the pride, feel beguiled. This is us unreconciled. Chubs go wild.
Hey there, and welcome to another fabulous Chubbs Gone Wild. This is episode 637, recorded on Monday, April 13th, 2026, in the day of our Trump. Did you see the lovely meme that was posted this morning that is circulating all over the internet?
He was a doctor.
Oh, yes, because doctors hold light scalpels or whatever
Right,
in
and
their arm and
they have
dresses.
the four soldiers of the apocalypse in shadow behind him. That's
Uh-huh.
what doctors do.
While he's healing Epstein and
Right.
yeah.
He's healing the non-Jews.
Yeah, it's funny because like I just saw it and I wasn't surprised at all, but man, there's so much outrage, like suddenly people are just seeing this type of shit for the
I
first
know. It's
time.
like, I'm thinking about what Jen always says. It's like, okay, fuck you. You voted for him 3 times. He's been doing this for 10
Right?
years, and now you're outraged?
Yeah. I just said I think one of my comments was Christians post the strangest things, and he is no Christian.
Oh, I know. It's just yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah. Anyway. I found it mildly amusing. Apparently, a lot of people are just shocked and awed. Anyway, hey, it's 65 degrees and cloudy in Chubland. We've been having some bigly rainstorms.
Well, it's weird. We
Mhm.
got like nearly 2 inches of rain.
Oh,
But when?
yeah, no, yeah.
I mean,
Although here, yeah.
I mean, on Saturday I was caught at a restaurant during the one downpour,
Oh,
and it was really fun because it was like all of a sudden we're sitting there, and then it got dark, a little
Mhm.
darker, and then it got windy, and then someone turned on a hose. and
Yeah,
and then and then 20 minutes it's gone.
yep.
So
It's
so where do we get? I mean, I understand the downpours do
right.
have a lot of water in them, but I've been here the whole time, and I've
Yeah, it rained pretty steadily over here for on and off for most of the day.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
yesterday it was just like you just said. It was like all or nothing.
Yeah, and it was nice having thunder and lightning because
Yeah,
um we don't normally get that in Sacramento,
right. And
where areas around us do, the mountains do,
yeah,
um up in the northern California does, but we usually don't. So it was fun.
right. And when we were coming home from Winco um the other day on Thursday, lightning was filling every direction of the sky, but
Oh,
we
you
weren't
it was
hearing.
you went there at night?
Well, yeah, she picked me up about 7:20 and
Okay.
we got out of there about 8:30. So, yeah. But we weren't hearing any thunder. It was just lightning in all four directions. So, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Hey, it's 42 days till Memorial Day, 201 until Halloween, and 256 days until Christmas. I I almost bought a Christmas tree. And yeah, it was Walmart was pushing like a $22 5 or 6 foot, one of the more thin ones, Christmas trees. And I almost did it, and then I'm like, I think I probably have enough trees. Yeah.
Those are
Anyway.
nice to put into corners,
Yes.
in little areas that you don't do anything with.
Right.
And yeah, those are nice for that.
Yeah, those are lovely for like gifts and stuff. Just saying. Okay, hey, guess what? We have affirmation. Let's hope this is a good one. My presence is comforting and grounding to others.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because
Why?
everyone likes to have a fat person around because it makes them feel thin.
Well, and we're funny.
Well, you're okay.
Eh, I'm funny.
Well,
I'm clever. I'm
it depends on who else is
yeah,
in the room. Yeah.
that's true. Yeah. Hey, Patreon. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators like us and receive rewards not open to the general public, like My Life in Fragments podcast, books, videos, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and most Pate. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to find out how you can be part of our little family for as little as $1 a month. All right, so this day in history, there were some events that happened, starting back in 1360 when a massive hailstorm, known as Black Monday, kills about 1,000 English soldiers during the Hundred Years' War in France. That's pretty extreme. In 1742, Handel's Messiah debuts in Dublin. 1861, Union forces surrender at Fort Sumter, marking the first major engagement of the American Civil War. In 1964, Sidney Poitier becomes the first black actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actor. In 1970, an oxygen tank explodes aboard Apollo 13, jeopardizing the mission and crew. In 1976, the U.S. reintroduces the $2 bill as part of the bicentennial celebration. And in 1978, fans throw Reggie candy bars onto the field at Yankee Stadium after Reggie Jackson hits a home run. Wow.
No, you
What
cannot go with a rake and get all those candy
I was
bars. I
thinking
know what you're thinking.
that would just be lovely. Anyway, some celebrity births. Thomas Jefferson, 1743, who was the third U.S. president. 1906, Samuel Beckett, the Nobel Prize winning playwright. 1946, Al Green, the soul singer. And in 1950, actor Ron Perlman. Okay.
I nearly got to work with him.
Yeah, he's still working too. He's
Yeah.
still got movies coming out. It's pretty cool. All right. Well, let's see if we accidentally celebrate any holidays today. Starting with it is International FND Awareness Day. Are you aware of FND?
S and D,
FND.
F and D.
Yes. I will click it to see it is a neurological disorder
Oh,
known as Functional Neurological Disorder Awareness Day being observed. Um, and
that's
that
the F and
is
D.
all it says. So apparently it doesn't know anything either. Oh, it's also Scrabble Day. Have you Scrabbled today?
No,
Oh. Thomas Jefferson Day. Have you Thomas Jefferson today?
I have.
Oh, really? That's good. I didn't. Also, National Make Lunch Count Day. Are you gonna do that? Are ya? Are ya?
Oh, of course.
Good.
It's I always do a good lunch after I have to see Moose's what he's
Oh,
got
I
in his
know, right?
lunch.
Yes.
I'm
Wait till
so
you
hungry afterwards.
wait till you see some of the
and
stuff
and
we
it's
got today.
and it's not drug induced hunger either.
Oh, well, that's
Well,
always
okay,
a plus.
sometime it is, but
Yeah.
it will
Well,
be today too.
well, it's also National Peach Cobbler Day.
Oh, that sounds good.
Does it?
Well, I've never really made peach cobbler,
Hmm.
but it sounds good. I mean, I've had it before.
I tried to make a cobbler a while back, but I think it was a blueberry cobbler, maybe? I don't know. It was
Yeah.
something different. Anyway, let's see. We do have a few, we'll just throw out a couple multi-day events, including it is Adopt a Ferret Month. Have you adopted a ferret? A ferret?
No.
Yeah, didn't sound appealing. Although I do know we do know somebody who had ferrets for a while.
Yeah,
It's also Alcohol Awareness Month. Are you aware of alcohol?
I am.
It's National Pecan Month or pecan, depending on what region you were born in.
Pecan. Pecan.
Hmm, sounds good to me. Um, Couple Appreciation Month. Yeah, I appreciate couples.
Me too.
Dog Appreciation Month.
Yeah.
I appreciate dogs. I have one. She's more
It's
she's
not a dog.
more gremlin than she is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really don't think it
But yeah.
qualifies.
Also, it's Holy Humor Month. God, that's funny.
Well, that's maybe that's what Trump was doing today.
Yes, yeah, he was just observing funny shit. Oh, it's National Soy Foods Month. Hmm. I know someone who wouldn't be down with that. All right. Fun days. And now birthdays. I'm sure we have a few, but then again, too few to mention. Okay. Happy birthday to Mike Michelle. Do, do, do. Oh, really? Uh, Stantisuk. Stantisuk. So sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Scott, Tony, David, Chickling, or Shaking. Sorry. Fred, Danny, Devin, Jake, our old actor that we worked with many years ago at the theater, Mr. Jake. And we have Jeff, Peter, that Peter G, Mr. Dennis, who sent us a comment last week. We have Alan, Joey, and piano extraordinary, Mr. Oliver Chu. All right. Well,
Don't forget
what,
on
what, what,
Thursday.
what?
Thursday is Jesse Glazer's birthday.
Oh my gosh, how could I forget that? That's amazing.
Well, her father forgets it, so we're trying not to.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a moment now and move into some chub hugs. Do you have any chub hugs that you want to start with?
Um, God, there's
Um,
just so many. Um, I I mean, where do you start? You start Middle East.
I,
Um, do you start the fact that the UK is upset over the amount of Russian submarines that are around the the islands? So there's that. Then there's just the weather here in this country. The bullshit going on with the Trump administration. Where do you want to start?
yeah,
How about with you? I'm giving you out a chub hug for the loss of your relative.
thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, and my chub hugs are attached to that. I'm sending chub hugs out to my step family, my stepmother, who we'll talk about a little bit more in my week, but she passed away on Friday, and her mom and stepdad and her sister and her family are, of course, taking it very hard, and so just sending them
Well,
love.
it's like what I was saying last week. we're losing listeners
Hmm.
to to terrible things and relatives and friends here in town, and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I maybe is it is it more so during the colder months?
I
Maybe
don't know.
I don't know, but it needs to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, before we get into more death with celebrity deaths, we did have a little something on our feedback. Mr. Sean wrote in and said, Jerry Seinfeld from did come to mind for the sitcom Mount Rushmore, even though I'm not a big fan of him. Yay. Same.
I agree. I
Anyway,
mean, he's right.
yeah,
He's right.
yeah.
That would be. But then, what do you do with the friends group?
Well,
Do you
yeah,
pick
that's
just one?
the thing with with Seinfeld. I think that Mount Rushmore is very much for that era. I mean, as much as I didn't care for the show, it was it was a societal moment, and you can't deny that.
It was a water cooler
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. And it also made what's her name super popular, and she got a ton of great stuff out of that.
Well, they all did. I mean,
Yeah, that's
Jason
true.
Alexander
Yeah.
and oh, can't remember his name. Kramer was doing
You mean
really
the
well
races?
until he started using the N word.
Yeah. Asshole. But the rest of them, I mean, are just, icons. Anyway,
Rich,
yes, he continues. Two others that came to mind are Bob Newhart and Ray Romano, though, but I'm not sure Romano really qualifies. Maybe someone from The Simpsons, but it's difficult to pick just one person. Those are all great.
yeah.
Yeah, especially like Bob Newhart. Yeah, he
Well,
was
and that
very much.
and it's like I was saying, you almost even though I didn't watch it,
Mm,
Fonzie should probably be up there. He was an icon of that era.
Carol Burnett.
Yeah.
Lucy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could go
You
on, but
actually you probably would have to go 60s, 70s,
right,
80s, 90s to really divide it out because then you start getting into the 2000s and then you still have Friends, you've got
Star
Scrubs, you've
Trek.
got Modern Family, you've got
Hmm. Hmm.
just a lot of very popular shows that were
Right.
all through that era. So it's to say over, pick four out of the last
Hmm.
60 years, I think that's unfair.
Yeah, that's hard. All right. Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate that. And now Tom wants to talk to you about a very surprising and sad celebrity deaths.
Now we've had a bunch of baseball players, and
Yeah.
Davy Lopes, was big on the Dodgers during the 1980 early 1980s World Series, where he was one of the MVPs that was split between three guys.
Hmm.
But baseball players, sports things we'll leave over there.
Yeah.
But this one, Sid Croft. So anybody who's, let's say, in their 60s, 50s, maybe even 40s, knows Sid and Marty Croft, who were the creators of Saturday Morning
Yes.
in America for a lot of years. They Sid Croft died. He was
Hmm.
oh this one didn't have. He was very old. I know that much.
Yeah.
And he they created Land of the Lost, H.R. Puffin stuff, Sidman the Sea Monster, and just gobs of other terrible shows.
Hmm.
But for the because let's see, when the first ones came out, I was probably early teens,
Hmm.
probably early teens, yeah. And they were stupid. Why am I watching Saturday Morning in my early teens? Okay, now
I was.
I'm questioning myself now.
Well,
But
remember too that there wasn't a lot going on television at
that's
time
true. And
too.
I was a shut-in child, not
Yes.
because I wanted to, not because I was forced to, but I didn't want to go out.
No.
It's hot, it's
Yeah.
cold, it's wet, it's
Outside.
God.
Yeah.
I've got television. I start
Right.
sometimes when I'm watching Scrooge.
Mm.
And Bill Murray's talking about how he had a really good life. There was this time where I was rolling down this hill and with my siblings and we're laughing, we're having a good time, and the ghost says, "That was Little House on the Prairie." Jesus, did you have a life at all? And it's like our my life was based on the television I watched.
Yeah, there a lot same. There's a lot for me, a lot of good memories that's tied to television and stuff. But yeah, actually it reminded me that Marty Croft died in 2023 and I think we talked about him on the
Okay.
show too. So, yeah, they were pretty yeah.
Well, and
But
it's them and then Hanna and Barbera. They were
hmm
huge during that time period. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
yeah.
These are the people that shaped our lives.
Right, and I never got H&R Puff and stuff. I never watched that until later, when I actually made myself go watch it just so I knew what the reference was, like the Sigmund the Sea Monster and all that. But Land of the Lost and 100 other shows they ran on KVIE.
What was the
I
hat show? The hat. They were all hats. Uh,
oh, I don't remember
I got to look
that.
that up. Um,
Okay.
but yeah. Now let me ask you this.
hmm
What does what's so special about orange?
It's the color of our president's face.
No, in with Sid and Marty Krofft. Sid and Marty
Oh,
Krofft.
orange. Oh no, I had no idea.
There ain't no rhyme for orange. Oranges pornges. That was a
Orange.
big song that
Huh.
Witchy Poo was singing. Oh,
See,
okay.
oh, that's another one that I had to go back and watch. I mean, I knew who Witchy Poo was, but I didn't never saw the show. I think you're talking about Lidsville.
Oh, Lidsville, yes, Lidsville.
Okay,
Yeah,
71 to 73. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Okay, so I was very so maybe it was I was maybe around 9 or 10. Okay, that's
yeah,
good.
that
And
makes
it was a
sense.
more innocent age.
Oh,
Yes.
no, oh, totally. I mean, when Witchy Poo was the scariest you got on television, I mean, you wait till you got old enough to watch Bewitched reruns and Dora. She seemed pretty dang scary.
Well, you got to remember that I was a child of parents who were in their 50s at that time.
Mm.
And so I was out seeing R-rated movies when I was 9 and 10 years old. So,
I remember one R-rated movie that my mom and her friend took me to in the back of a truck, and during the sexy bits, they like covered up my face with the blanket.
yeah, my mom just gave me cash. Go to the snack bar.
Oh, you were that kid.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been
Um,
fun.
but and then my brother, we would he would make me watch all um, the martial arts, the
Mm,
Godzilla movies, the
yes.
horror films, the those are so I had a really interesting childhood, and it's no wonder that I spent like the first 30 years of my life terrified.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we had watched. This was in 1966, and we had on Bob Wilkins. He had on the it's the Revenge of the Mushroom People. I think it was Revenge of the Mushroom People, and it's which was a Japanese film about a group of tourists whose boat gets stranded on this island, and there's no food, so they start eating the mushrooms, and then they become the Mushroom People. And so,
Oh.
I remember I was in bed, and in the middle of whatever late was for me at that point, I was 7. My brother broke in the room and threw mushrooms all over my bed.
Ah.
And you wonder why I can't sleep
Yeah.
nights. Yeah.
Did you ever think watching TV and movies back then that you would be facing a lot more quicksand in life than we have? Because I remember like always, almost every show had like quicksand. Like you're in the middle of the desert. Oh, there's quicksand. It's like,
Yeah, I don't think that really was something that stuck with me. I was more worried about being attacked by creatures. I mean, I had this thought that the mummy could only come
uh,
towards me if there was light. If I'm in a room with no light on, except the bedroom. Bedroom was okay, but I couldn't go in the bathroom without the light on because then the mummy moved closer. Yeah,
oh,
I know. I'm a
yeah, I
trouble
understand
child.
those weird things. Trog. That was my first scary movie.
Trog.
Late at night watching Trog, and I watch it now and I'm just like, oh my God. But back then, a little kid watching that late at night scared the piss out of me.
Yeah, yeah, that was Joan Crawford.
Yes,
Yeah, and
she
I
scared the
remember
piss out of me too.
my brother thought because the line was, "Why do you call them Trog?" And it's like because he's half man, half beast, and it's
Yeah.
like instead of going because he's a troglodyte, so just
Yeah.
shortening it for Trog. But he said he's half man, half beast, and my brother used that line for years. I don't know why, but he did.
Huh.
Yeah, strange childhood, like I
Yeah.
said.
All right. Hey, it is time for Tom's week.
Well, the week has been better now that we're out of March Madness. We're done with the
Yes.
Super Bowl. No more Academy Awards. No more Easter. You know, and now, of course, what happens then? Oh, the season's over with. So we saw
Yeah.
High Potential finish up their season.
Hmm.
The Pit finishes up their season this week. A lot of stuff closing out, and it's going to, which means that God, summer's going to be tough this year. I mean, I've got Big Brother, and what else? We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but Sheriff's County, I love this show. I wish you'd watch it.
Hmm.
Um, and been enjoying that, Elizabeth. Matlock. Okay, Matlock's getting a little bit better.
Okay.
Well, it's just that they were no longer working together. They were kind of working against each other, but working together. It's very complicated.
Hmm.
So I'm glad to see it's easy, kind of moving in the right. Um,
Yeah.
Jason Ritter on Matlock's side is better. So we'll see what happens. Um, and now they're finding more people outside of their circle who are responsible for killing
Oh, the
the report.
that's
So
good.
yeah, which is what they should have figured that out earlier. I
Yes.
honestly don't think they thought that they were going to go more than a season, which is weird because you got Kathy Bates, and
Right.
right there, that was everyone's like chomping at the bit.
Yeah, it
We're
was
not going
so
to let
good.
you go
Season one
more.
was so good, and I
Yeah.
haven't watched any of the rest.
Okay, so let's see. RuPaul's Drag Race. We're down to the last three, and this week we had the lip sync Lollapalooza, which they
Ooh.
do with all the remaining queens, and it was so funny. And what? Well, they were down to the last four, and Jane Don't had to pick from three extremely talented lip syncers. So
Hmm.
she went up against Juicy, who ended up winning. And it was so funny that Juicy was so killing it that finally Jane Don't just sat there. First of all, she gave her dollar bills. And then after that, she started sweeping the floor because that's what Juicy was doing with her chances of winning was sweeping the floor. Very funny. It's I was listening to Bianca Del Rio, and she was going, what I say to Jane is sometimes it's better not to win. I mean, you don't get the big prize, but you also don't get the big, the weight on you of being more successful than the other winners.
Hmm.
And so and she's already well liked. Everyone knows she's really good. Everyone thinks she's got robbed. That's just going to get her moving, and it's up to her at that point. And that's what I think about these shows, especially Drag Race. If you can't get booked for a year after appearing on Drag Race,
Yeah.
you've done something wrong. Because
Right.
I mean, Sam Starr was at um, Faces last night.
Yeah.
And you know, and she was on last season, and she's still roaming, you know, roaming around the country, and that's what you do. And then after that, you go, after you've done the whole country thing, you go down and you work RuPaul's drag race show and in Vegas. You know, if you're not a big dancer, you can host it. It's a great way of you know, really, I mean, that's a learning process right there, is to do a 90-minute show in Las Vegas twice a night, you know,
Oh yeah.
and you're going to learn. And it's a great place because if you fuck up, no one's going to care. They're all drunk. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm just, so anyway, this following week, we'll have the last three and see who's going to win. It's either going to be, it should be Mikey um, winning. But if not, it's going to be Daryl. Daryl? Darla?
I don't know.
She's really funny. That's
Mhm.
all. It's last week. RuPaul said, "Well, you know, you got this." And I think we discussed this. She goes, "You got that real quality like flow on Alice,
Yeah.
you know."
Yeah.
And she goes, "I don't know who that is." And she goes, "Well, her big thing was kiss my grits. So when anybody gave her shit, she'd go, you know what? You could kiss my grits." And that was, you know, her big thing. So Darlene comes. Oh, it's Darlene. There it is. She comes out this week dressed like um, she's holding up a thing of pancakes, and somebody says something. She goes, "Well, you could just kiss my grits." And then Rue goes, "Uh huh," and she goes, "Uh huh," and it was just this lovely moment. But
Good.
yeah, so why am I there? Oh my God! Oh, stop this. Okay, my thing reset. So. Um, Okay, I'm back. Uh, American Idol, we're down to the top 11. We're in, you know, and we're actually America's voting. So that's interesting. It's really interesting the people they have this year and who seems to keep moving along. They're not going for the usual um, middle of the road kind of country gal or rocker guy. They've got some really interesting. We'll see who wins, but it's some really interesting voices and characters. So,
Mm.
Survivor 50. They've got it's so weird when they go to tribal and there's as many people at tribal as they normally have on the first day of any other season. So
Huh.
they're slowly getting rid of people, but they need to go faster. They
Mm.
really do because we've only got a few weeks left and they still have a full cast. Um, let's see, culinary competition show. It's this is what's on right after Survivor, and it's a good show. It's another good cooking show. They've got really talented people, but I am so tired of watching people go. I just don't have the confidence. I don't understand why. And it's like, well, because you're on TV and they're telling you you only have an hour. That's why
Right.
you don't have confidence. Otherwise, you have three or four restaurants. You're James Beard nominee. You
Yeah.
know, if you're not TV friendly, then you need to stop doing this.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. Back and on to Alone, South Africa that we're watching. This is where they drop the people off and they have to survive out
Oh,
in the
right.
right. We had another person.
Mm.
Oh, the nights are just too lonely for me. I've got to, you know, because it gets dark at 6 o'clock at night, and it doesn't get, the sun doesn't come up until after 7, and I've just got these long hours of being cold and alone, and it's like that's the show.
That's a name. Yeah.
Okay. And it bothers me because I'm sure that there are 10 other people that we can find who are more than happy
Mm.
to make it work. Well, right now we're like 16 days in, and we have 3 people left. Now, normally we're 2 months in and have 3 people left, and it hasn't snowed on them. It's cold, but it
Yeah.
hasn't snowed on them. All the animals are still around. They're still getting fish. There's still berries on the vines, and they're leaving in droves. It's weird. It is so very weird.
It's
It's
like
like
good.
they deliberately found the weakest, the people ready to break.
Yeah, it's like going
But
on Naked and Afraid and being like, I can't take this. I didn't know I'd be naked and I'm so afraid.
yes, exactly.
Uh,
So anyway, finished Sherlock Holmes, and it was fine.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was
it was all
it,
right.
interesting show.
Yeah,
I don't know why
yeah,
I don't know why we had to have that last piece where the princess gets home. Like that mattered. You probably didn't
yeah.
even see it because it's like halfway through the closing credits, and I'm like, fuck this.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I've noticed several shows lately that are doing that where they'll finish the show, they'll go into credits, and then they'll just tack on something like in the middle of the credits, and I'm like, I wasn't interested enough to stick around, except that I was too lazy to grab my remote.
Exactly. Or what I usually
So
do is I like to speed through the credits to make sure it gets off my waiting
yes, I've
list.
done that.
Because nothing's worse than I finished the series 2 weeks ago and it's telling me there's still something left.
Right. Yeah.
Fuckers. Let's see. On Destined to Fuck, St. Louis, we saw the first 2 episodes and it was interesting, but I'm waiting until it's done so we can just breeze through it because it's
Hmm.
not interesting week to week. It's
Right.
not.
Yeah.
This is one of those shows, kind of like Ryan Murphy shit, where it does sometimes my attention is not holding.
Hmm.
We finished One Piece, thank God. And have you seen it? One Piece on Netflix?
No, it kept popping up before I canceled my subscription, and I just couldn't do it. I just
Well, the
didn't feel it.
first season was stupid, and this one was just it's like, oh my God, it's like they're just totally dragging it out. What a lot of what it reminded me of was Percy Jackson, second season of Percy Jackson,
Mm.
which was not good. It's
No.
like they lost focus, getting trapped each week by a new demigod,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, no, I'm forgetting what the where we're going with this. I'm losing track of the mission because you're too busy getting caught.
Trying to create something out of you're done.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
because the movies are fine, but these long ass series where they're trying to fill in shit. It's
Hmm.
By the way, have you seen the new thing on Harry Potter? The new it's like a trailer.
Yes, I've seen the trailers.
The 20-minute one.
Oh no.
Oh
Mm-mm.
yeah, there's a 20-minute one. And it
Ah,
looks and where they're talking about how they did the magic, how they did the casting, um, um,
no.
building the sets and stuff. Really cool. It was a really, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you what was really scary, Nick Frost, who plays Hagrid.
Yeah.
You remember Nick Frost from um, Shaun of the Dead, the big guy?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know who you're talking
he's
about.
like 140 pounds now.
Ah.
Ozempic.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but it's um, he doesn't look like Nick Frost. He barely sounds like Nick Frost. It was
Mm.
weird. I didn't, well, first of all, until I realized it was Nick Frost, I didn't know it was Nick Frost. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I kind of, I mean, I kind of want to watch it because we've talked about this before it was even a concept that they should do something like this.
right.
And I love the Harry Potter stuff, but I don't want to do anything that's going to give 1 cent to you know who. So I don't know if I'll see it or not. But I want Mom to see it because she is an Uber fan, and I think she would just love this.
Well, according to what it said, there's going to be 8 episodes per season.
Hmm.
Now, remember, episodes could mean what, we think immediately, well, that's 43 minutes
Right.
with commercials. Oh, wait, no, this is streaming. So is that an hour? Is
Yeah.
that an hour and 15 minutes? We don't know. So
Right.
hopefully it means that they're going to tell us the books the way we read the books.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Because
I would want. Yeah.
if I don't see the elf, I mean was it the
The
elf?
Elf Liberation Army.
Yes, I wanted that was so interesting in that book, and then gone.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that more than anything with these things. So and we saw a movie, and Mies can't recall what that movie's was.
Hmm.
So uh must have been good.
Yeah. I've watched
Okay,
several of those. All right.
go
Well,
ahead.
then, my week, I start out with something. When we went to Winco, there was, it took us, because neither of us had enough money to really do much of anything. So we kind of zoomed through the store in about maybe uh, under half an hour. And then we got
Wait,
to the
you
red,
spun around in circles?
we went around the store,
Oh, you
how
didn't. You
you
weren't
do.
zoomies.
Yeah,
You
we
were
zoomed around
zoomed
the
around. Okay,
store.
got it.
Anyway, so we did that, and then we got stuck in line for about half an hour because one woman, and I am not being negative toward her at all, but she had to buy a lot of groceries and she had to split it up between cards and she'd have to like remove items and put them on another card and then the poor thing, when she finally did get through and left, she left her yogurt and her cheese. I'm like, those are expensive. What's the matter with you? Anyway, but while we were standing in line, there was this very large woman who was going up and down the aisles in Winco, screeching at the top of her lungs all about Jesus and the Lord this, and I am the this and that, and just going on. And people were just like freaking out how awful it was. And I whispered to Heather, I'm like, she probably thinks that she is out there preaching the word and bringing people to her religion. And what she has no clue of is that she's actually driving more and more people away because everybody in line was very uncomfortable with her craziness. So that was quite an experience. Anyway, I went to happy hour on Friday with Seaman and Mr. Ouija, and that so my stepmother Paula, she after the show, actually like the next day, or I believe after we recorded the show last week, she fell in her room and she actually ended up breaking her hip. Well, because she has lung issues and weak heart and everything, they were they weren't sure that they were even going to be able to do an MRI to see, how they could repair her hip. But they were finally able to do the MRI on Thursday, and they said that they were pretty sure that they could do a good job repairing her hip. So on Friday, they scheduled the surgery, and then so we went to happy hour, and it was actually in the middle of happy hour. I am kind of pinned. I'm on the wall bench, and people are all drunk and joyous and everything around me, and that's when I get the call that she went in for the surgery and they had barely gotten her on the table when her heart gave out and they weren't able to bring her back. So she died, and it was just the irony of it, where I was and what was going on, and hearing that, and I just kind of sat there numb for a few minutes, and then I looked over at Clint, and he must have felt me, my energy, because he looked over at me right away, and I just mouthed, "She died," and and he was like, "Do you want to go?" And I just we just stayed because there, what could I do? I'm not going to be of any use to anybody anywhere, and so we yeah, so that happened, and her mother's texted me, like every day, and we kind of check in, and I don't know much of what's going on past that, but I mean, her my stepmom was her mom's like life. She um whenever my stepmom was sick, because she was born with her heart outside of her body and with a cleft palate. So from like day three, she was like having surgeries and stuff like that. So throughout her entire life, whenever she was in the hospital for something, her mother went and stayed at the hospital with her, and like barely left except maybe to like take a shower or something like that. But other than that, she was always with her in the hospital and did that. And now, especially the last few years when Paula was sick, um, her mom was basically her caretaker. So I don't know what she's gonna do with her life,
Yeah.
with that, because Paula was always was so much the focus of everything. Anyway, so I've been, kind of having to deal with that and the emotions around that, and so that's been my last few days. But I have been mindlessly watching a lot of movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So I will just dive into that. Starting with I watched a couple more episodes of Superstore season 5, and as much as I'm enjoying the show, they're going through they're trying to be too quirky, and they didn't need to be. The show was fine until they started the relationship shit, and now they're yeah. Um, I'm gonna watch out through season 6, of course, to finish it up, but I'm just hoping it gets a little bit better. Ultimate Baking Championship. Casey, the blonde female chef, who was the top chef like twice in a row, left. She just had a week where nothing went right for her, and and they said, "Okay, you gotta go. Bye-bye." So, I don't know. I miss the spring baking championship. Um, this is just fodder. It's just what you watch because you know there's 40 minutes of TV time to fill up.
Right.
It's like, who cares? I started watching season 1 of The Winter King, which is a UK show. And it's basically just another retelling of Arthur and Excalibur, but it's not as mythical and all magic-y as it's more based in like druid lore and stuff like that. So it's fine, but it's that whole Winter King and the Viking shows and that whole period of stuff like that where it's just like, okay, did y'all just share the same costumes and the same sets, and you just, needed to do something, so you had a bunch of people get in there and
Well, I told you last week on Saturday Night Live, they did a 300 skit, and I'm sure they did the 300 skit because they had the costumes from when they did the 300 skit when it was popular.
right, yeah, Yeah.
But yeah, and the thing is that they are producing so much shit.
Mhm.
What drives me crazy because I could have actually have worked if I was
Oh
if they were
yeah.
doing this much shit in the 80s when I was in Los Angeles, I
Mhm.
would have been working all the time.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
because
Yeah.
I mean it's I mean how many Viking shows can they actually bring out?
Yeah,
Well,
and I love the way that there's so many shows now that like the bad guys and the guards and stuff like that are always in face covers and masks because you know that they just use the same actors like in every scene throughout the entire series, but
sure.
just in different costumes.
Well, it was like Bewitched. I mean, how many times were some of those supporting actors on that show? I saw one the other day I was watching. I looked him up. He was on 5 episodes as
Hmm.
different characters.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
It's yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So I finally watched the movie Civil War. And that's the one with
the great ending.
yeah, it was a pretty powerful ending, except that the main character, oh gosh, blonde actress, super popular in the 80s.
Yeah,
I can't remember her
and
freaking
she's married
name.
to Jesse. Um,
Yeah, I should
yes.
have written it down. Anyway, go look it up if you want to watch it. Anyway, the movie was actually really good, and starting it from and seeing it from like it was a photojournalist standpoint, not necessarily a journalist standpoint, but with the press being outlawed and hunted and stuff like that too. It was really interesting, very very interesting. And that's all I'll say because it was interesting, but I don't know
Oh,
if
it's oh the
if
movie is a nightmare to get through.
yeah,
And if it
exactly.
wasn't, if
It
it
really
wasn't
was.
for the last 5 minutes of the movie, I would have been so pissed off. But
Uh,
once we got to the last 5 minutes of the movie, everything else made sense.
right. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, and I really did whoever the heck it was who was the lead actress, who I do like and can't remember her name right now. I thought she did a really good job. I mean, they all kind of
Yeah,
did,
I think
but she
she's
really
always
did
kind of
stand out.
mediocre.
Huh?
I think she's always kind of mediocre to me.
Okay.
I mean, she's not terrible,
No.
but I feel like she's limited.
Uh-huh. I will give you that in that I can't see her doing something that would necessarily win an Oscar, but
But
although
she's been
these days, who
nominated.
the hell knows?
She's
Because
been
I'm
nominated.
how has she? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Kristen Dunst?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Is it? Yes.
No,
No.
couldn't. No, no,
No.
no.
I'll just a
I
minute.
was gonna say that little thing. No. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Moving on from that, though, I have been meaning for quite a while to watch the Terminator movie
Kristen
series.
Dunst.
It was okay. Huh. Well, I thought she did a great job. Much better than when she was in that vampire thing and I couldn't stand her, but I know
Oh
she
no,
was
I
a little
loved her in the
kid.
vampire thing.
Ugh.
Oh, the
Anyway,
hair was fabulous. It
that
was
little curly dolly shit.
so Carrie Underwood, season
Yeah.
3.
Okay. So I've been meaning to watch the Terminator series and finish it out. This is a series that when I was a kid, it actually kind of scared me because of the whole, future
It scares me now. Are you
sci-fi.
kidding?
Oh,
It's fucking
trust me, I know. In
it's
fact,
AI shit right now that they're talking about. We finally
uh-huh.
have caught up to the Terminator.
I know.
Where's
I get
Skylab?
it.
Is that part of is that part of the Tesla
Yes,
people,
it
or is that
is.
part of it's somebody? Is it Google?
Yeah, I know. So
Meta?
it's crazy. But I did want to finish watching the series. So I started from the beginning watching the Terminator and I liked the Terminator movie.
It's
My
good.
mom was a big fan of the first two.
Me too.
And I enjoyed it. And I mean the effects, oh my God, some of the effects were so cheese, but it was a good film. Terminator 2, I enjoyed that one too. Number three, we were really pushing it on number three. And then when we got to number four, which is Salvation, I actually just ended up spending $3 because I had some credit for it. So I spent $3 and actually rented it because it wasn't available anywhere else. And wow, what a piece of shit that was. Um, one making a note here really quickly. Okay, so that was a piece of poo. And then we got to Genesis, which is the number five, which was 2014, 2015, something like that. And again, they just tried too damn hard. And then they turned the hero John Connor into a bad guy, and just like stop fucking with things. And then there's one more movie in the series, number six, that I have to watch, and I'm not gonna watch any of the series. I'm not gonna watch any of the offshoots. Once I finish the last movie in this main series, I'm done with it. But I will say that the only thing that was good in the later ones really was Arnold, and say that is really something. So,
Well, you got to think back, especially in the first two.
hmm?
Who else could have played that role so
Oh yeah.
efficient, so effectively, so perfectly? I
Hmm.
mean, Cameron must have gone, "Oh my God, did I luck into this?"
Oh yeah, yeah. I just really, really well done. Okay, I watched a couple episodes of Heated Rivalry. I'll finish out the series. I'm not seeing the absolute love for it that everybody has. But I
It's
don't
just
dislike
hot.
it. It's okay. I'll probably like it by the time I get another episode or two in.
You
Uh,
know, my problem is watching two smooth twinks doesn't do it for me.
well, yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. So,
And that's why I like the second storyline so much more.
the one with oh yes, I'm waiting for that one yeah, that one
Oh,
actor.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm watching The Boys season five. Have you started that one?
Yes, we're
Okay.
caught up.
So, I'm liking it. I don't have anything else really to say about that other than I'm liking it and happy to watch more.
Okay.
I don't know. There wasn't any big anything. Uh, anyway, also I watched Crime 101, which is the new big one on Prime with the Hemsworth and
Mark
about
Ruffalo.
40 other I there were so many big names in this movie. I was actually really surprised. Um uh but I watched the first half and was bored and actually wasn't going to go back and watch it except you said how everybody was saying how good it was. So I went ahead and finished it out the next day, and I thought part two was better, and I liked the ending,
Okay,
but I
second
thought the
half.
movie was
The
slow and
second half.
boring.
Second half. Don't say part two because you're going to confuse people.
Oh well, second half of it
Okay.
was the whole movie was just kind of boring to me.
Okay.
But I did like the ending, and I thought the acting was fine.
And I do remember the movie that we watched. It was Zootopia 2.
Oh, no wonder you forgot it.
Well, and what was interesting about it was, I mean, the characters are likable,
Yeah.
but the storyline was very complicated for a children's. I mean, for let's say a kid's cartoon.
Okay.
It was awfully complicated. Although I found it really interesting as an adult, I'm
Mm.
thinking kids are going to be like, "What the fuck? What is this?
There better
Come
be a
on, where?
bunch of cute
Come on.
things to
Does
see.
somebody get a pie in the face? I don't want to hear about this." It was the storyline had to deal with the genocide of one of the animals or a certain group of animals, and also um, just some horrible political things that are going. Believe me, it was very topical. On
Hmm.
top of being a children's show, it was
Right.
kind of topical with what's going on.
Oh,
So, and it was, but it was the show. That part was interesting. I was just surprised that it was part of a kid show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the only other thing I was going to mention is, as I said, I've canceled a bunch of channels and stuff like that. I decided to keep BritBox just because I watch so much from it all the time. And for an additional $3, if you go through Prime, you can get MGM Plus, and BritBox as a bundle for like $13. And you're already paying $10.99 for BritBox, so adding another $3 for MGM Plus, and you get a lot of really good movies, older movies. There's a few newer ones, but for the most part, it's your older movies, your classics, your 80s, your 90s, the bigger named ones. So I thought that was a great deal. Anyway, all right, love it or hate it, reality TV.
I I I I love the the ones I like, I really like.
Okay,
But it's one thing I like about reality TV is that I don't have to watch it all. You
right,
know,
right.
I mean, there's a new show on Hulu called Overboard, and some dating show, and it's like I don't need to see this. But if it's cooking, if it's I like a lot of the competition ones,
Hmm.
like Survivor and Big Brother, those kind of things, where I get to know I'll call them characters, and I like, you follow people like the old American Idol, when you were like, week to week, who's going to be surviving, and oh my God, I can't believe they sent him home, type stuff, in the old days when that mattered. So it just, yeah, reality TV. It's whatever your liking is. You want stupid, superficial dating shows? We got them.
Yeah. Um, I I do like some reality TV, and but I also blame it for a lot of modern behavior with the younger generations, and how reactive and stupid and emotionally immature, and throwing scenes to be on YouTube and shit like that. I have a lot of issues with it, not to mention that it was because of that we ended up with this regime.
Oh,
However,
okay. But then you could say the same thing about porn.
what regime did we get from porn?
Um, well, we got a group of people who think it's okay to rape women and drug them. So
Hey,
because
I
they
didn't
see it,
watch that porn.
because they see it in porn,
Oh, we do?
yeah, you see that kind of shit going on. And the same thing, um,
Oh, what
people,
porn you're
men
watching?
can't perform with women because women aren't porn whores, and so reality television and the porn industry, the way it's affected. I mean, you're going to say that about everything. Anything that people have that much opportunity to view are going to be affected by the shit. You can say,
Of
oh my
course.
God, there's so many horror films out. No wonder children are frightened all the time. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing. It's all about managing how much shit you
Well,
focus on and how much you believe
it's
too.
also that we are not, especially the younger generations, and I'm sorry if I'm picking on I don't know if we have any younger generations that listen to us, but are generally not taught life skills, reasoning, and common sense in schools by parents or anything else growing up. And I'm not putting that on a blanket one, I'm putting it on a lot, but not blanket across the board. But when you're watching reality TV, and especially the dating shows and everything, where there's so much hysterics and everything because they're driving that
Right.
narrative, right? So you think that it's real and that's the way to behave. And so you do because that's the way humans behave, right? Well, no, not if
Well,
you're
because I saw it on the internet, so it must be true.
right. It actually, yes, that's very much. And I mean, look at the way we were raised, I was raised by television shows that had moral endings. they lied, they cheated, they did something, and then at the end of the show they confessed, and you learned your lesson, and it's like, and this is why you don't do this. This is
Yeah,
the
but
moral of the story, and that is how I was raised by
and it's
television.
true, but that also gave you, if you think about it, it gave us the false idea that everything's solved in with one episode.
That is true. That is true
Because I
too.
remember
Yes.
when Darlene went through her dark period for 40 years, it was like, what the fuck? Eve Plum got over it, really quick.
In one
Marsha's
scene,
nose
yeah,
was fixed
20
by the
minutes.
next episode.
Yep.
Everything was good.
Yeah, that we really did that. And it's the same way that we as fat people were told, if you lose weight, you don't have any problems. Every problem that you have is solved. If you just have this, then every problem that you have is solved and you're the perfect mother, or father or whatever. So, yeah, I'm, across the board, but reality TV is something that I do have a little bit of an issue with. Not to
But
mention.
if you, I think that if you
It
look
doesn't
at
mean I'm
reality
not going to
TV,
watch it if I like a good
sure,
show.
sure, but the thing is, it's who's watching it. I'm watching, the cooking shows and watching these people fall apart. These successful, you know,
Right.
people fall apart because they can't deal with being on television, which
Hmm.
is what the problem is.
Yeah.
And nobody really kind of looks at that. You gotta be a whore to be on television. You
Yeah.
gotta want it so bad that
Yep.
you don't care what you have to do and what you have to put up with, whatever the shit is.
Or
That's what makes
RuPaul's
those
Drag
people.
Race,
And
if they're choosing if they're going to be the villain of the episode or not, so that they'll get more time.
yeah, but I'm saying that people like, and I mean this in a good sense.
Hmm.
People like Michael Simon, the cook, Michael Simon. You've got you just look at all these famous people who and how can they I mean I've been in this kind of industry,
Hmm.
and it's like if I got put on, if, someone's saying, okay, well, we're going to do this movie and it's going to shoot for 8 months, you're going to be out of the country, I'm going to think, I don't know if I want to do that.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what, that was probably my biggest downfall, was that I wasn't driven enough
Yeah.
and willing to give up everything to get that. And
Right.
and and you
Yeah.
look at these people, you wonder why there's so many people in the industry that are, they're in and out of drug and alcohol in places. They fall apart. There's suicide. There's so much demand on this, that kind of thing. I mean, I can see why these people have problems, and it's something I didn't want to. I kind of saw, and I
Hmm.
didn't want to be a part of,
Right.
because if it's not going to be all happy and wonderful, well, why are you doing it?
Right. I remember when I was taking the classes for one of the local like movie TV like model churn you out, get you in, get your money, churn you out into whatever projects they can. um and they were trying to get me to perform a Diet Coke commercial that was like, the happy go lucky, yay rah rah fat guy, and I was like, I don't do that. And looking back, it's like, if I really wanted to pursue the industry, I would have done anything they
Right.
fucking wanted
I
to.
mean, a perfect fat guy
Yeah.
is, um, oh God, Tommy Boy. I'm forgetting his name.
Oh, Chris Farley.
Chris Farley. He
Yeah.
was the perfect fat guy for
Yeah.
television and movies, and I'll tell you why. Because he'll show you his tits
Uh-huh.
in a second. Remember, he did the. It was for the strippers, male strippers, and it was him and Patrick Swayze who's
Yes.
going to get the role, and they're both dancing with their shirt off.
Yeah.
And Chris Farley did it, and he got the laughs. He didn't
Hmm.
care. It was. I mean, I was embarrassed watching it,
Yeah.
and then afterwards, anybody talked about was how that was so great. That was. I'll never forget that. That was the funniest thing I've seen in years.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I don't understand.
Yeah,
I'm humiliated. How can everybody else be so happy about it? And
right.
it's because
Yeah,
that's my problem. And
yeah,
it was your problem.
yeah.
I got an audition for this. It was actually, I think it was for a bank commercial where they had fat people running up and down the beach having heart attacks
Oh gosh.
in slow motion, like Chariots of Fire. That's what the whole thing was going to be. And I don't know what the commercial was for. Oh no, 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 no. Now I remember. It was for New York's one of New York's television stations talking about health and obesity
Gee.
theories that they were going to have on their show. And I'm like, and I they said, so if anybody has a problem with it, I'll just tell your agent that you weren't good, you weren't right for the part. I won't tell them that you wanted to leave because I understand. They gave us the out, which
Mm,
was the big problem. They shouldn't have given us an out.
right.
But they gave us an out. And because I don't want to have a heart attack and have that forever on my resume.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's just not funny either.
no.
Was that supposed to be funny or
Back then,
tragic? And if
yeah,
it's
they gave us all
tragic, it's
that
even
shit back
worse.
then, but
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
they would probably rethink that now, but back then we were the joke. You're fat, you're gay. Both of those were the joke.
And you're fat, you're gay, you've got dark hair, you live in California.
No.
You can't do anything right.
Right, exactly. All right. Hey Chubbs, Timothy wants to know what do you think is the last free speech platform we have?
Um, wow.
I have
Um,
my answer.
See, I think that currently we still have some free speech things. I think YouTube is a perfect free speech. Um, I mean, depending on how you utilize it, but I
Right.
think it
Well,
and you've got a lot of podcasts, but I think when the podcasts start bringing in the commercials, that you're going
mm.
to have a problem. So, um, but
Because one of the things that they have that problem with on YouTube is if you are monetized, then your free speech, you have to say things like unalived and instead of, committed suicide or died or was killed or murdered, then it becomes you're unalived because the algorithms will pick up that speech and it will knock you out of,
okay,
it'll suppress certain things. That's by I For me it's kind of podcasting. Now there is corporate podcasts, which obviously is out of the running, but I think independent podcasts are probably the one of the last.
yeah.
Uh,
But and many of those you can see on YouTube is what I'm
yes,
getting at.
yes.
And because I think that there's a certain group of people who are watching podcasts more, the older generation is watching them more than listening
Sean.
to them.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, he listens more than watches.
No, no, I was talking about our listener, Sean.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would much rather watch them than listen to them
Right.
because I don't because I don't drive much anymore.
Mm,
Because I used to listen to Stephanie Miller every morning in my car
mm,
driving to Folsom,
yeah.
and it was great. I got up and looked forward to my drive because
Mm.
I had a podcast.
Do you remember
Um,
Randy Rhodes?
yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah,
I always associate her with you because she was the first radio person that was, for me, doing left wing commentary at all
right. And
back, and
that
that was radio.
right. So, so yeah, the I think the podcasts are um I think you're right, and that's what I meant by
Mm,
YouTube. It's just and if it, the monetized thing, I'm just it's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yep. All right. Hey, Chubbs, Timothy wants to know, are high gas prices a short-term problem or a sign that we need to rethink how we live and travel?
Number two.
Yeah, and I also think that even if they are able to fix the gas issues and get the price back down per gallon, etc., that the greed of the gas stations and stuff will leave it at higher prices.
Yeah, ground beef.
Ugh,
That's exactly.
yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, ground beef was more expensive, and because there was a lack of cows, and
Mm,
now we've got a glut of cows, and ground beef is even higher than it was
mm,
when we didn't have enough cows. Because
right.
your average ground beef now is about 8.99.
Yeah.
8.99. I was buying steaks for 8.99 a pound.
Mm,
No, 6.99 a pound
mm,
2 years ago. So I don't know what's going on. Well, I do know what's going on. Every time you give them a chance to lift the
mm.
price up, it's kind of like two steps up, and then when it's all of a sudden better, one step back.
Right.
So we're always going to keep building that the base is
Hmm.
constantly getting higher. And
Right.
yeah, they
Oh, speaking of
because
that,
well, look, you managed through it when it was that expensive before.
right. Well, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I've realized recently that Mom and I are both uh, lacking in protein, and just like, huh, how does that work? And I realize it's probably been 5, 6 months since I bought hamburger because it's just too fucking expensive
Right.
and I don't even look at other meat. Now we occasionally I'll get chicken and we'll boil some chicken or have some chicken, but it just
Well,
it's ridiculous.
yeah, lately there's been a good chicken thing going on.
Yeah.
The last like month, all of a sudden chicken was like 1.99 a pound for breasts,
Mm,
which is a good price. And so I bought some of those up and they're frozen right now.
mm.
But yeah, the price anytime they get a chance beef and gas and certain other things. We just you see them going up, and then they say it's going to be temporary, but it never comes down to where it was. It may
Right.
drop a little bit,
I mean, even eggs are so much better now, but they're still not back to where they were.
right. It's
Yeah.
just that's the trick they play. They go, we have to do this, and then they go, okay, now that it's done, we'll bring the price back down, and it's like I don't remember what the price was before. It must be this one, right?
Yeah.
They're just trying to, they're constantly fucking with us.
Yeah. And that's why when I
And
hear, a gallon of gas is $4 across the country, I'm like, really? Come to California.
yeah, well, and the whole thing is with all this happening, I've got my car that I filled up. I have to fill up twice a year. That's how
Mm,
often I drive.
yeah.
And so it's filled up when it was cheaper. So I'm not thinking about gas.
Right.
Our other car's a Tesla. We've got a hookup to the house. He can get it for free at work, and we've got the batteries to save the solar.
Mm,
So it's like we're not thinking about gas at all, even though it does, you know,
right.
the diesel that brings the trucks with the food and stuff like it all comes into play. But we don't, as a people, we don't notice that as much as we do when somebody has to take their SUV to the and they have
Oh,
to
yeah.
pay, $130 for gas for a
Right.
full tank.
Yeah.
That's when they start thinking about it.
Yeah.
It used to be
Okay.
70, now it's 130.
I know. Mom and I filled up the half a tank the other day, and it was like $60, and
Mhm.
we have a smaller tank, so. With the
Right.
car. But okay. Hey Chubbs, Timothy wants to know if a student fails almost every class for 4 years but keeps getting promoted, who's most responsible, the student, the parent, or the school? Now, he included a visual. This is a clipping from the Blackston in Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, a Baltimore mother says the school failed her son after learning he has to start high school over despite being promoted for 4 years. Her 17-year-old son attends a school la 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 in West Baltimore. After 4 years, he earned a .013 grade point average, passed three classes, and earned 2.5 credits. In February, months before graduation, the school told her that her son was being moved back to ninth grade. He didn't fail, the school failed him, she said. His class rank is 62 out of 120 students, meaning nearly half his classmates have a GPA of 0.13 or lower. In 3 years, he failed 22 classes and was absent or late 272 times. Only one teacher requested a parent conference, which never happened, and no one told her that her son was failing. So, the
How?
question,
Wait.
yes,
Okay. How
okay.
can no one? Okay, you have the report card gets sent to the parents. It's not
Usually,
handed to the kids
I
anymore.
don't know how that works
It's
anymore.
done with email.
Okay, well, that may not have been, it may have been an email that she didn't check.
Okay. I mean,
Anyway,
you
let's
go
just
ahead.
give it for what it is. And so, once again, the question is if the student fails almost every class for 4 years but keeps getting promoted, who's most responsible? The student, the parent, or the school?
Well, I think that after 4 years, the school,
Yeah.
um, and the parent, I don't think it's the kid because you and I both know that once you figure out the system,
Mm-hmm.
you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
As a kid, you know what you can get away with, what you can't get away with, the ins and outs of the thing. You find out
Mm.
who's the easy teachers, who's the harder teachers.
Yeah.
There's all the politics that goes with it. Um, so I don't really blame the kid because we're just naturally
Doing
fuckers
what
at
kids
that
do.
age.
Yeah.
So if the parent doesn't know after 4 years that their kid, I mean, I'm sorry, maybe you miss one report card, or and if you've got a kid in ninth grade and he goes to 10th grade and you haven't heard anything from the school, then the parents should be going, why am I not getting any information about my child? I send him to school and I get nothing from you people if
Hmm.
you're not getting anything. So I think I think a lot of that's the parents' fault. But I know the schools only get paid for kids in class,
Mm-hmm.
whether they pass or they don't pass.
Right.
It's all about attendance.
Yep.
So
So, yeah,
that's when the school's a problem because they don't care. Just keep moving him up. He's
right.
close enough.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's the parent and the school. I think it's both their faults
Yeah.
equally. I don't think it's the student because the student, like you said, it is doing, if they're not being told on either side of anything, they're just gonna do what they're gonna do. Anyway, but I mean, I
I mean,
remember when I was in school and seventh and eighth grade, I got absolute shit grades. I got a lot of D's and F's. My only A's were in drama classes. Other than that, I got D's and F's, and they kept pushing me anyway because my test scores for the college or the SATs, whatever the state tests are, were college level. So I knew this. I knew it all, but I didn't do any of the work. I didn't show up half the time, and they still bumped me up. So anyway, good question. All right, next question. I remember Three's Company.
um, kinda.
Yeah.
Well, that you once again, we are in that time period where because there was a good probably 10 years I didn't watch a lot of television.
Mm,
Basically, because when I was in high school, I had all these friends, and I'm always, you know, out doing stuff. And then after that was college, and so TV is, bleh. So
yeah.
I missed the Three's Company. I mean, I've seen a few episodes. I know what the premise was. I knew who the actors were, but I was not let's say, a regular watcher.
Right. Yeah. I was at that period time period. I mean, I was kind of a shut-in in a lot of ways. So I watched Three's Company religiously. It was one of my favorite shows, and I didn't realize it at the time. I realized it a little bit later in the run that one of the reasons I loved it so much uh, was because of John Ritter, and that he was one of my prototypes for my like the kind of guy that I was like super, super attracted to back
Well,
then.
did the homophobia bother you at all?
Not at the time because we were the butt of the joke, and I was just kind of coming to understand what being gay was, and that was me. So for me, it was like, oh, somebody's saying something about that. Ooh, that's interesting. And but there were no really positive role models at that time. So, I was just fine with
Right. I
it,
mean, if you think about it, we had Billy Crystal on Soap,
which I wasn't allowed to watch at that point.
and we had Three's Company, and he
Mhm.
wasn't really gay.
Right.
So, there was that.
Yeah.
And then and I fortunately had brothers over on Showtime. So
Oh, yeah. I think maybe I got to see like one episode of that, but that wasn't even until I was like 19, 20, something like that. But yeah, so Three's Company, I absolutely loved it and watched it through, and of course the Ropers, Mrs. Roper, so amazing. So yeah, okay. Hey, it's time for what's in your lunchbox, and we're gonna start with Mr. Michael Sage, and he sent in this beautiful photo of I'm going to assume that is a breakfast burger. It's got an egg on it that you can like. I don't really like it when you do that. It's like a sunny side up, and you hit the yolk, and it drains over the
girl,
burger.
this is
Yeah,
the oh, I love it.
yeah.
I'll tell you, that just all that rich yolk on the bread and with the meat juices. Oh my God, and the
Well, I like
bacon.
an over medium. I like a runny yolk, but I don't like the top part not being cooked like that.
What
You know what
top
I'm
part?
saying? Okay, so you see the big yellow sunny
Yeah.
side up thing? Okay, you flip it over and just gently get that, translucent cooked, and I'm
Mm,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, but yes, this is a beautiful burger. I'm going to assume it's an Impossible Burger, but I don't know if that's Impossible Bacon. That looks like a really good burger, but I also know that he's mostly vegetarian, so but he did
Wait, how
not
can he
tell me
be
exactly what
mostly
this is.
vegetarian with an egg,
Because from what
bacon,
I
and beef?
understand, okay, so well, egg and milk you can be lactose ovum but still be a vegetarian, okay?
Right, right.
But I believe that he had to add a little bit of protein to his diet
Okay.
or something.
Well, it looks
But
good.
that is a lot of protein.
Yeah,
I'd eat that. Oh hell yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm just wondering how juicy the burger was.
Well,
I,
with all that egg blood on it, it should be pretty
oh my
cool.
God, you were just wrong.
Hey, Mr. Phoenix Dave wrote in, and he said, Scott and I tried a new Italian restaurant in town. Anytime I try a new Italian restaurant, my go-to dish is lasagna. This one was pretty good. Looks like it was pretty good.
Looks like a good piece too.
Yeah, I love, 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 love lasagna, and I always want to order it when I go to restaurants, but I've had so much bad restaurant lasagna that I just don't. Scott has a shrimp crab meat pasta Alfredo dish. He really liked it. I would say I would really like that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Alfredo on that dish.
Well, it just looks,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, I like when it looks like it's too soupy,
Mm,
but it's really not. It just looks that way
yes.
because nothing's worse than when you just get a thing of noodles. They're coated,
Yeah.
but they're just, it's like, okay, I want it to swim.
Mm-mm.
I want a lot of sauce.
And then this was our bread, which was okay, but it was a little too cheesy. Oh my goodness. Which is surprising since I love cheese. Me too.
Uh,
I'm gonna look at that
I
bread.
understand.
And it's I think there's a lot of oil on that. That would be a little maybe off-putting for me. But the rest of it, oh yeah, I can kind of see what you're talking about with too much cheese. Um, anyway, he says, love the show and both of y'all, and we love you too. And now we're going to get into Mr. Moose. And guess what? Mr. Moose is on a trip, a trip. So there's lots of good stuff. Starting with, got some fish and shrimp for lunch, side of mashed potatoes. Very, very tasty.
Yum.
Yes.
I love good fried fish.
Yes.
It's my favorite way to get fish. And then everyone goes, "Oh, you have to fry it." And it's like, "Well, I don't like it any other way."
No, I totally, well, I will cook it with some butter and cheese, and it will come out good. My mom really likes it when I cook it that way. But I'll take this dish right here. I'll take that. All right. Next up, got a burger for lunch today, normally served with grilled onions, but didn't want them. So the burger is cooked a perfect medium with barbecue sauce on the side.
I'm gonna have to have a burger now.
I know. I went for the burger at Roscoe's while I was there, and I would like I would like to trade that for Mr. Moose's burger.
Yeah, Roscoe, que disappointe.
Yeah, I don't. We only go there to support the community anymore. Okay, key lime pie with a great graham cracker crust. That's my favorite kind of crust for key
It's
lime.
just so fancy.
Yeah. In Fort Lauderdale for a long weekend. Right off the plane, we needed food. I got shrimp burrito. Mm. Little shrimp and a lot of rice. Fries were good. Hubby ate those after I tried a couple. I don't think I've ever had a shrimp burrito.
They're really, actually, it's really good. It's surprising
Huh.
how elegant, even though it's not,
Mm,
but because we're not used to that, it feels like when you have shrimp tacos and it's like,
mm.
ooh, this is fancy. And that's how it kind of, and but it's a different kind of satisfying because it feels like it's a real step up from what
Okay.
we're used to.
Hmm. All right, next up is dinner. Not what I expected. Menu said grouper with mussels and shrimp garnish. It was a little grouper in curry sauce, a lot of rice, not at all what I wanted. Also had cashews and almonds in there. Hmm. Sauce completely covered up the flavor of the grouper. Maybe that's what the chef had in mind. Wow.
It looks good and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I actually, when I first saw the photo, I thought it must be a bisque, but huh, okay. And then had yogurt with fresh fruit and granola for breakfast with a side of bacon for flavor. That's the way that you have that is
That's what I
like
want.
bacon.
That's how I want granola to look too.
I know when I now see when they say eating healthy, I know it's probably not that healthy, but that is what I want. What I get, not so much.
Right. Well, I mean that's look at the chunks
Yeah,
and the full size berries that are in there, and then there's
beautiful.
yogurt underneath that.
Mm.
Oh my God. Yeah. If I saw this, I would be really hard pressed to not get this instead of like
Egg.
um well, like chicken fried steak.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
this just looks, and maybe the thing is you only have this available to you,
Mm.
even though it's not like a punishment. It's
No.
just it's we I don't know, me, I can't say we, but I am geared to not go. I don't want the sweet stuff
Mm.
for breakfast, and I don't particularly want healthy stuff for breakfast. So I go for, does it come with gravy and potatoes? Okay. And
Yeah.
there's bacon. Oh, just sausages? How many sausages?
Uh,
I'm gonna go for the big fatty breakfast over
mm,
anything healthy. But if I only had
very
this
fatty.
available, I would not complain.
Right. Yep.
I would
Totally.
actually be looking forward to it.
Same. Yeah.
Don't give me choices. Choices are my big problem.
Yes. All right. Let's see. Well, if you want to see these photos, and trust me, you do, go ahead and go over to What's in Your Lunchbox, which you can find at our Facebook group on facebook.com/chubsgonewild. And you can email us things for the show at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. You can find out my other projects and books at justkisstheguy.com. And
And if you're watching us on YouTube, well, you'll see that I had shaved,
oh,
and it's horrible. And
oh, it's not.
what I need now is I need a big scarf to hang off to cover up this thing.
It's
It's,
an American holiday, mother.
oh. Anyway, yeah, I feel like I'm a gobbler at this point.
Oh,
Oh my God, could they say cum guzzling more on the
oh,
boys or
darn.
what?
Okay, well, since we're talking about boys, then I'll let that pass. Otherwise, that would be for a different show. But yeah, they are out there.
I
They
just
are out
it's
there.
and it's what's interesting is it's all very homophobic, but hilarious.
And yet somehow not. I mean, at the same time that they are like acting and saying homophobic stuff, they are taking off their shirts and
Oh,
they
I know
are
that
doing
that's
the
the
most
thing.
gay
It's
stuff.
it's
I love it.
it's a mess. Anyway, so you can see that I shaved, and it's horrible. And then you can tell us who you are, like us,
Yeah,
subscribe. But we want to know if you are watching. Let us know.
definitely. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for everything that you do for us. And we will love you and catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.